Welcome back to Stories from the River. We are at episode 364. Today we are going to be talking to you a little bit about the partnership and strategic planning that we've been working to implement the Zoom Contact Center across our entire organization here at Broad River Retail.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
I'm Wes Dudley, Senior Vice President of Customer Experience here at Broad River Retail. I'll be your host today, and today we're joined by Abe Barghouti, who is the Senior Account Executive with Zoom, Krista Hentz, who is the Senior Sales Leader with Zoom, Drew Gorringe, who is the CX Consultant with C-Lect, and Anita Harris, who is Director of Customer Experience, Operations, and Specialty here at Broad River. So excited you guys are here today. It's a great group of leaders, and we're excited to have a little bit of conversation about our implementation here. So Anita, what made us decide that we needed to make a change to our CX platform and telephony system?
Well, I think probably about 2 years into our current system, we started to see a strain in the relationship and the partnership. The platform wasn't working as we expected in some of the cases. The complexity of the platform was pretty hard. If we needed anything to be adjusted or changed or fixed or anything like that, it was always, for lack of a better word, an act of Congress to get it done. So it made it very hard for us to be as responsive and quick as we needed to be if there was some type of concern. And just the inability to offer new products or to understand the products that we already had and really use them to the best of our ability. We were always asked to spend more money to get upgrades and those types of things when we really wanted to make sure that we were using the platform the best that we could with what we had. And that just it soured over time. And we realized that we had lost the partner relationship and it became a vendor and buyer type relationship. And that just really doesn't work in the Broad River retail world.
When evaluating a future platform, what mattered most besides the technology side?
Partnership, friendship, relationship. Because you need to know that, again, if there's a concern, if there's an issue, or if you're just happy as you want to be, you need to be able to know the people who you can go to and trust that they're going to be able to get you to whatever you need, right? To get you the help that you need or to show you a different way of doing something or to explain some part of the program that you already have. And we just didn't have that, and we need that. Again, here at Broad River Retail, relationships are everything. And we expect that not only just within our company itself, but with every partner that we work with. It's very important to us.
How did we find out about Zoom Contact Center?
This man sitting right here. Drew is excellent, has always been excellent helping us find the right program for us. So I'll let him take it from there.
Yeah, and after hearing about some of the issues you guys had been experiencing with your previous vendor, we went and toured the CCW floor and looked at a variety of different vendors. And Zoom really stood out quickly in terms of who could actually deliver on what they were promising, who had customers in a similar space, and who had a simple platform that improved employee experience and helped with customer experience, and then who would be there 12 months later, leaning in with Broad River rather than just disappearing and turning into that vendor-buyer relationship.
So, you guys, most people know Zoom. I wasn't aware there was a Zoom Contact Center. Tell us a little bit about Zoom Contact Center.
Wes, I've never heard that before. No one's ever said that. Zoom only for meetings. No, I'm glad you asked the question, and it's kind of a blessing and a curse of being a household name, right, for meetings. But if you'll allow me to kind of do a history lesson for a minute. So our CEO, Eric Yuan, when he founded Zoom in 2011, it wasn't just to be a video app, right? He wanted to deliver happiness. That's kind of his mantra, right? And so he believed that human connection or that communication could be human, could be effortless. And I think that meetings was just kind of the first chapter of that story. So we started there, of course, but we've always been very customer driven with our feedback. So our customers came to us and they said, man, we really trust you with our video. Why don't you build out a phone system? And so we did that. And, we are the fastest growing voice over IP provider ever. We've got 11 million seats now. And I think when that same kind of thing happened again, there was a shift in the market where businesses said, I no longer believe that it's the best route to buy one communication system or one platform for communicating internally and build a completely separate system for how I'm going to communicate externally. And so Zoom was really primed at that moment kind of to take advantage of that shift because our platform is natively built from the ground up in all of these different areas. So when we built a contact center on top of the same architecture that we built our phone system, the same architecture from our meetings, it was just a natural progression, what was happening in the market. And, we're well positioned with Broad River and we're excited to kind of get this going for you guys. So
Very cool, very cool. So today you guys joined us for our CX leadership meeting, which was a really good fun time. With all that, thank you for helping lead that, by the way. But we talked about our 3 Ps, people, process, and purpose. And why is that important with a transformation like this?
Yeah, great question. And thanks for having us for the meeting. We had a lot of fun with your team. But I think if I'm going to tie all the 3 Ps back to, why we need to have a focus there while we're implementing, broad change and new technology, it comes back to something we've heard a couple times up here, and maybe the 4th P that we added, which is partnership, right? We're in the trenches with you in this project. And when you're rolling out new technology, wide scale change, not only for your team, but your memory makers in seat, you can lose sight of what the purpose is. You can lose sight of who we are and what we're ultimately trying to accomplish. So reinforcing that today, I think, was really integral to the rollout and launch that we are targeting in August with this new technology to continue delivering happy memories for your team and your customers.
Cool. Again, thank you for the whole leadership time today. It was an amazing time.
It was our pleasure. Didn't feel like a day of work at all.
Yeah, it was great. It was
really
great.
didn't.
So with that, what has surprised you guys most about the implementation so far?
Everyone goes into it thinking it's going to be easy, and then you find out implementation is never easy. There's always surprises. There's always some curveballs. And for me, the biggest surprise is how quickly the Broad River retail team has jumped in when there is a challenge, right? Hey, we need to figure out this piece so that we can go live and stay on target. And you've got 10 people raising their hands to say that I'll help. I think that speaks to the connectivity and the culture that has been fostered here at Broad River Retail. It's a pretty unique experience. Most of the implementations we're on, there's usually one point of contact who's kind of running everything, and you start to see delays and timelines being missed. I don't have any fear of that with Broad River because of how willing the team is to jump in and stay connected not only to the build of the project, but having a hand in ultimately launching this and continuing to deliver.
So we talked about the 4th P, as one of you said earlier, with partnership. How important is partnership in a large-scale change like this?
Well, I think it's everything, right? Like we talked about challenges you can have during implementation, and I am, as every employee at Zoom is a shareholder at Zoom. So as a salesperson, of course I want to win this first deal with you, but it's more important for us that when it's renewal time, this is a no-brainer for you. You see the ROI, you see the memories that have been made, you see the happy customers, the happy employees, and it's just, where do we sign, right? Couple that with the investment that Zoom makes in our research and development and continuing to improve and iterate on our technology. We want to be the partner for you now and a partner for you, the next 10 years. So I think partnership is everything, especially when we're talking about a project designed to improve and help consistency and customer experience.
Everything that Abe said is exactly true, exactly how we feel. And I think it also helps in the fact that we can talk about where we are now and where we want to be in 5 years and use our partnership to help us build out what that looks like. So we can scale now. We know what Zoom offers. We're going to have partnership for them to come tell us, hey, we're going to be able to do this in 2 years or 3 years. And so we can plan now. And that goes to what Abe is saying, being able to know now that in 2 years or 3 years, they're still going to be our partner. And we can use them to help us grow and scale the way we need to, because Broad River is blowing up every day, right? So we need to be ready for that, and we need a partner that's going to help us get there.
And even looking in some of the things we did today, most of the time during a technology transition, it happens to the people, right? It's just like, hey, we're changing systems. We'll let you know when the training's available, right? Today, not only were they jumping all in teams, they were actually whiteboarding out like, okay, what is our current process? What is coming with this new technology and how is that going to impact our current? That gets them bought in, frankly, to get them excited, and that gets them, really rolling on it. And I don't know, that's part of the partnership piece too. It's just getting everybody on board. And I don't know, Abe and us being here for that was really impactful to us. So.
And the irony is you want a communications partner to communicate with you. And, with the previous vendor you guys are with, it kind of felt like quicksand for you. You guys were stuck. You weren't able to go to them with anything that you ever needed. And to have a team like Zoom who's willing to come down here at the, drop of a hat, kind of, so to speak, it really just shows that there's a commitment to bettering everyone's work experience. And it really falls in line with the ethos that your CEO has with, providing happiness to people.
So what advice would you give other leaders that are looking for a transition like this? Where would they start?
The first thing you have to do is you have to talk to your employees. Like, the leader shouldn't just be making this decision without understanding what the pain points really are and driving change from the bottom up. It's not just a P&L sheet. It is, hey, what are we hearing back from our employees and the people that are using this, and how does it affect them in ways that matter the most? And then how do we engage with the vendor to act as a professional liaison to help them achieve the projects that they're trying to work on?
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. And where are we today, and where do we want to go? And what companies can help fill that gap and help us there? I couldn't agree more.
And taking that like one step further, as we start to look with a transition like this, how do we make sure, and I think we talked a little bit about it, but get some more dialogue here, when we are doing this, making sure that it's not an IT project, because it does become very technical. We've already talked about that. I think today was a very good example of what we did with the leadership team, but how do we make sure, from the perspective, kind of looking at Anita, Drew for a little bit of answer here with this one, making sure that it doesn't become just another IT project for the team?
Well, I think we're very fortunate that we have great IT partners here. So having the ability to partner with them as we learn this together and work together to ensure that we are, understanding the connection between what they're doing and what we have to do in contact center to ensure that we're building it out the way that we need it to work. That partnership internally helps the partnership externally. So, and it's very important for us, especially with our team, Wes, because they are hands-on. They want to be involved in everything. So allowing
very
them,
visible today.
Yes,
Yes.
allowing them to get in and touch and understand and just be a part of meetings that help them understand the foundation and the background really helps us to speak to our team in a way that gives them that little extra knowledge, that little bit more of confidence that the program, the platform that we have is the right one. It's the one that they wanted, because they did tell us the problems and the issues that they were facing, in our current platform. And it lets them know that we've heard them and that we're working to make sure that their job is as easy as it can be when they're dealing and helping our customers have a great experience.
Yeah, and to add on to that, IT has the same goals more often than not. And if you can accurately diagnose what problems you're trying to address, you have an identity in the company, it's really easy to start to figure out how to move forward in a really concise way that affects change, doesn't let you get too caught up in the weeds, and then helps this change management process that comes through the whole technology adoption. So it's just about clear communication internally, externally, and leaning into partnership with your IT department and with the vendor, and making sure that everyone's speaking the same language.
So taking it a little bit different direction from a standpoint, probably more for Anita on this question, by the way, from a standpoint, what really changes from both our customer experience and our memory maker experience as we roll this out?
Starting with the memory maker experience, the platform seems so much more user-friendly, right? It's going to be easy for them to use. Some of the issues and concerns that we have now of them, calls being dropped, or the system throwing them into statuses that they didn't put themselves into. All of those things are very frustrating to them and to our customers. So when we can present a platform and allow them a platform that does not do those things, that allows them to work comfortably and easily, and really be able to take care of our customers, then that's what they want. That's all they want. They want to be able to do their job and not have the interruptions that they're going through now. For our customer, the customer experience, it just makes it more seamless, right? We're going to have some functionalities that we've never had before that's going to offer self-serve for our customers, which is not something that we can offer right now. But when they do get through to one of our memory makers, they're getting to the right team that can help them resolve the problem as quickly as possible. And that's really all people want. They want to be able to tell you what their problem is, and you fix it as quickly as possible. And we're going to be able to do that.
Was there any findings from today that you saw that, from a Zoom perspective, or even Drew, from your perspective, of changes that you feel that the team could make based on some of the conversations we had today?
I mean, there was a big discussion around quality. I think that when, you don't have that, introducing automation into quality, like all of a sudden having insights into 100% of every interaction, that not only impacts the people that, are scoring these calls because of time management and all that, but from a leadership perspective, the insights that you have from that all of a sudden to be able to make those, business decisions and have clarity around what your customers are talking to you about, what they're asking, what they need, like that is invaluable, right? And then for the people that are being scored, right, it's like now they can take, ownership of growth, right, and take it as coaching versus, I don't know if they're randomly going to pick a call that I didn't like, right? So that was one thing that stood out to me around quality, but I don't know, what did you guys think?
I mean, I think Krista nailed it. There was a big eye-opening in regards to, I think everyone understands, hey, there are opportunities, right? And how do we surface those opportunities? How do we become aware of those? And through reporting, analytics, some of the functionality Krista mentioned around quality will certainly do that. But then you think about the other side of the coin, right? Now that we understand that, does this technology actually help us improve in those areas? And being able to discuss that side of the coin and how we can now free up time to spend more development, more coaching, and ultimately more promoting is really, I think, the lifeblood of any CX center, right? It's, there is a path for me, and I can see my leadership team investing in me, not only through technology, but with all this time that's freed up is now spent on the development and coaching. And so as we talked through some of that during our journey mapping, I think you could start to see the wheels turning of like, hey, not only are we like talking about what we can fix, we have tools that help us fix it now too.
But it also helps us reinvent the wheel a little bit with some of the technology, some of the AI. Very excited to get all that on board as well.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go around the horn here and ask, when you guys think about the future of our partnership here, what's one word that comes to mind?
Great question. I would probably say, if I'm thinking about today, I think today was a foundational step in solidifying our partnership. As I project out, a word I would describe is, promising or exciting. I think there's a lot that we can accomplish together, and the spirit and energy of collaboration was so vibrant today that I'm excited about the promising future that Zoom and Broad River have together.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, more than one word.
But very, very well thought out.
Well, the first thing that when you first asked, I was going to say unstoppable, but then I thought about it again. So I would say purposeful. I think that everybody's just being so intentional around every single step about how we're starting, how we're, kicking things off, what steps we want to take next, and even thinking beyond that. So I think purposeful is what would come to mind for me.
I'm going to follow suit and explain my word a little bit too, compounding, because I think that there are so many little wins that you get out of this partnership with improving EX and how you can actually administer the system versus some of the additional technology that we're bringing in too. There's so much more to capture, even if they seem like small things. When you put it all together, it is just fostering a great relationship.
My word's probably not as exciting as y'all's, but it's stable and reliable. That's all we want.
That's 2 words.
Well, I'm giving 2. I can't just do one. I can't do one. Stable and reliable. And that's what we need in partners. That's what we need in a platform. And I think we have that.
That sounds important.
Yes, that sounds important.
Well, great conversation today. Thank you all for the conversation. Really appreciate you being here. And thank you all for watching, and please join us again. You can find us on LinkedIn, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.